yeah.
But doctor, here we're talking about these companies are ready and they put the resources and they are committed. But how long do you think they can wait if there is no decision to sign these contracts and start the drilling?
Not much, because as you know, international companies have bank facilities, and they have a number of financial arrangements that they have to make with their own creditors, and they cannot wait very long because they are already engaging and paying fees on blocking those amounts. So in such a situation, and if they see that the drilling will be delayed for a long period, they may move their funds and go and invest elsewhere.
Today also it seems that there is another threat. You know that there is something called shale gas, and that shale gas become a major issue for a lot of countries, mostly the American. They're talking about it, and they're thinking about that probably by a couple years from now, maybe 5 to 6 years, America will start be an exporter of shale gas, and that's going to put a pressure on the gas market. So if we are delaying, then the profit that we are promised will not be there. Do you see that threat?
Indeed, the rise of shale gas in the U.S. is shaking the equilibrium of global oil markets, and the global oil landscape has changed as high speed as a result of the discovery and the exploration of shale gas. And the experts say that by the end of this decade, the U.S. will be the first oil producer ahead of Saudi Arabia and Russia.
But if you look at it, there was an article today in the Wall Street Journal. They said Belgium, France, Belgium, and other country, and even Britain, attempt to actually try not to attempt the issue of shale gas because it has some environmental hazard. Do you think the Americans are realistic about this issue to actually drill and export shale gas and become a threat to us, or maybe this is just wishing on the part of the United States?
The Europeans are very keen to preserve the environment, and they take their time before moving on with any new drilling technique that may have an impact on the environment. Whereas the Americans consider that technology that accompany the drilling of shale gas or any other resource like coal or solar energy, etc., will offset the environmental impact. So far, European has been lagging in investing, but the Americans are investing a lot, and by the end of the decade, the U.S. will become a self-sufficient country in conventional and unconventional resources. The U.S. is already sufficient, 90% sufficient.
Represent a challenge to us here in the Middle East and Lebanon, because eventually we have to look for a market. Some of our gas, when they become available, some is for actually our consumption, another is going to be sold overseas. So is that going to pose a threat to us, this issue of shale gas?
Exactly.
Or it's easy to tell now? It's hard to tell.
The issue of shale gas is a challenge not only for Lebanon, it will be a challenge also for the neighboring countries in the MENA, in the entire MENA region, because the region will lose importance for the U.S. From a gas and oil perspective. The U.S. is the largest market in the world for oil, and already it's not anymore. So last year, China was the first importer of oil and gas, and by losing the American market, this will have an impact on international prices.
But the United States does not really import very much from the Middle East. It imports more from Canada and Mexico, and the neighboring then from the Middle East. I think from Saudi Arabia, still their imports probably amount to maybe 5 to 6 million barrels out of 20 million barrels of consumption in the United States.
Exactly, but this still represents a share of the U.S. consumption. This part will be offset, and there will be no need for that part. And if we look to the global, to the international situation, we see that demand is growing. So there is growing demand, but there is growing demand in some parts of the world, but there will be less demand in other parts of the world, and this means that the oil price will be stabilized at around $100. $100 year after year is losing from its real value because of the impact of inflation. And cost, etc. So this will mean a loss to Lebanon.
Okay, we're going to go back to the Lebanese issue, actually, and the economic condition in Lebanon, and especially the electricity in Lebanon, how much money we can save on that. But before we do that, we have to take a break, and we will come back.
Pollution and climate change, medicine manipulation, genetically modified food, the destruction of wildlife, and corporate exploitation. These are all part of a new terrorism threatening our future.
Eco-terrorism, global awakening to a world under threat.
Welcome back to the economic debate. The issue, it's oil and gas and exploration. Dr. Hamdar with us on the phone. Dr. Hamdar, you know the issue of drilling in Lebanon become a major issue. What it means to postpone this issue for another time. What do we need to do in Lebanon at this point?
Well, first, hi. Actually, you have to look at the situation currently in order to understand what might be the consequences of postponing the extraction of oil in Lebanon. Currently, according to the latest studies, the Levant area has about 225 trillion cubic feet of natural gas, while the share of Lebanon is in excess of 25 trillion cubic feet. This is a promising amount, and this is only preliminary. The amount might be higher and higher and higher. We're currently, Lebanon imports 7% of its GDP and form of energy. So if we agree that the GDP of Lebanon is almost $40 billion, we are talking here roughly about $3 billion. If we start counting on our on natural gas, we save up $3 billion, all right, and this money could be used later for development of the country and raising the living standards of people. And also, the state-owned power company is costing the economy about 5% of its GDP, and this is roughly another $2 billion. So in all, if we start counting on our natural gas and natural oil, we will save about $5 billion right away. And this money, again, could be used in order, to enhance the development process of the country and raise the living standards of Lebanese. First, answering your question, Dr. Kamal. First of all, in economics, you know, and everybody knows, the golden bullet is confidence. It's hope. And when Lebanon postpones the drilling of gas, this actually might divert hope from the country, and many Lebanese, as you have seen, many Lebanese now are losing hope. And unfortunately, if you allow me to use this terminology, Lebanese are becoming like boat people, and they are seeking opportunities outside Lebanon because this country is not able to provide opportunities. So we were looking at the oil exploration in Lebanon to be fulfilling the aspirations of the Lebanese, providing Lebanese with employment, providing Lebanese with hope in order to stay in Lebanon and not once more experience another brain drain that Lebanon needs brains for the future in order to develop this country. This is really unfortunate. This is really risky for our economy, for our young generation, for the youth of this country, those who still have faith and confidence in this country. They were hoping that this country is going to be on the right track, start producing oil and gas, providing employment opportunities for them to stay here in Lebanon. This is very unfortunate, and it comes like a shock to many of us that the cabinet minister have not yet agreed on a deal to start the exploration of gas or extraction of energy. Unfortunately, I might say that I'm scared that this sector might be politicized like any other sector in Lebanon. So I hope that this sector will be away from the Lebanese politics. I hope this sector will serve the interests of Lebanon and all the Lebanese. I hope this sector will not be like another thing in Lebanon based on shares and based on interest for this in Lebanon. Very unfortunate that they have not yet started. We are losing an edge. Look at the neighbor, all right, Israel has started to benefit, making a lot of money, billions of dollars, and there are reports by many independent observers that Israel might be using our own resources and drilling from our own resources and taking from our share. And look at us. We are still, all right, sitting down, doing nothing, and crying, not starting. We have to take a decision soon for the sake of Lebanon, for the sake of development, for the sake of the people to in this country. Otherwise, all of us might become both people, both seeking opportunities outside Lebanon. This is very unfortunate, and this is very dangerous for the young generation. For all of us, we are sending the wrong message to them when we say that yet acted on the oil of this country.
Dr. Hamdar, we talk. You mentioned horizontal drilling. That's probably what you mentioned. What you said that there is actually a threat that the Israeli can come and actually steal our gas, and that's actually has been proving technology. There's a lot of lawsuits between country regarding to that. Don't you think the politician knows that the consequences of we don't act today, how much opportunity we are losing? You mentioned actually $5 billion in total gains to the country in terms of saving, opportunity, creating jobs.
If we start today, I'm sorry to interrupt you, if we start today, few years down the road, we will be reaping a lot of money and we will be saving $5 billion. Imagine all this money that earmarked to development, to raise the living standard of the people, to provide the young generation with opportunities, with hope. These people don't have hope anymore. Look at the Lebanese. They are all over the world seeking opportunities, legally or illegally, and they are risking their life. This is the job of the government to sit down, agree on this matter, and start right away this very important matter for the Lebanese and for the future of Lebanon. Yes, I refer to the horizontal drilling. This is a technology that might be used by the Israelis, and many independent observers hinted to the fact that Israel might have been using it already and might be taking from our shares. Now, many reports about this situation, many reports indicate to the fact that Lebanon is losing, all right, some of its natural, gas and oil resources, to the Israelis, because we have not yet acted on this matter.
Dr. Bassam Hamdar, Chairman of the Economic Department at AUST, many thanks for joining us on the economic debate. Hopefully we have you very soon in the studio. We have less than 2 minutes to talk about the issue. We talk about Lebanon as a country has a lot of debt. Sometimes they speak about $60 billion of debt. We have high unemployment. Sometimes they talk about the numbers, maybe 20%, maybe more. We don't have accurate statistics. People are losing hope, as the doctor mentioned. What's your take on this? What's your advice to the politician in Lebanon?
I completely agree with Dr. Bassam. going and proceeding with the investment that would be generated by putting in place the drilling and exploration project will have an immediate and a gradual impact on Lebanon. The immediate impact will be mostly giving hope again to the Lebanese people and to the Lebanese young generation, and